Welcome back to the show. Well, as promised, this really feels like the holiday concert edition of Daytime Ottawa. If you love Christmas concert, holiday concerts, you're in the right city for it because there are so many going on. And my next guest, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary with their fabulous holiday concert. It is called the annual Christmas Goose Concert, and the producer, Pat Moore, joining me. How are you, Pat?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you here. And I have to ask about the name, first of all, right? Because
I knew
think
that was coming.
Well, exactly. It stands out to everyone. Where did the goose part of this concert come from?
Many years ago, over 20 years ago, a group of singer-songwriters decided to get together to actually go to one of the singer-songwriter type conferences.
Okay.
And so they decided that they would, rather than each person individually paying for a table, and they thought they would combine their resources. And so it was people from Ottawa and people from the Quebec side. So they called it, and I wasn't part of the name originally, but I've grown to love it.
I see how you're distancing yourself right away,
But
Pat.
I've grown to love it. A gaggle of Ottawa and Outaouais songwriters exposed.
I love it.
And that's how it came to be.
It's a great,
then
great story.
Then there was the first project after this conference that this group got together, and they asked me if I would join, and I said sure. And it was actually an idea of Tony Turner's to start out with.
Okay.
And Tony said, it's been a long time since Ottawa songwriters put together a CD of Christmas songs.
Okay.
And so we did that, and it took quite a while, and we actually had like a submission process.
Really?
Oh my God, it was so
cool.
much work. And so we had this submission process where we selected songwriters and songs for the CD, and then I said, well, we have to have a concert. You can't just have a CD, you've got to have a concert. So we got in touch with the NAC Fourth Stage, and we said we want to have a concert. We're going to call it Christmas Goose. And I also thought at the same time, you know, there's 8 of us. We're not going to make money on this, so let's just give it all away.
Good for you.
And so we decided to give it to the food bank. And so for 20 years, that's what we've been doing. Although we haven't been doing the contest thing, we've just been selecting. And I like to bring people back, so we kind of rotate. And I like to have some familiar faces and some new faces.
Nice.
And so that's...
So how would you describe the concert? What's the experience like for those that attend?
I think people in the sort of folk music and singer-songwriter genre, or the audiences, are probably used to the idea of like a songwriter's circle, or some people call it in the round.
Right.
So we'll have 2 sets, 4 songwriters, singer-songwriters on stage at a time with a backup band of Ann Downey on bass and Pat McLaughlin playing guitar and mandolin. And then each person plays whatever their instrument is. So often it's also guitar, but we also have piano. And we use the NAC's Baby Grand.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's so nice.
No kidding.
Yeah. And so we just go one at a time. So I ask everybody, if you're going to be in the show, please do at least one original Christmas song.
Nice. I love that.
So the idea is to motivate, you know, to motivate the songwriters to write a new Christmas song.
Right.
And then on top of that, then their second song, so everybody does 2 songs. Their second song can be anything, provided it kind of suits the mood.
I'm just seeing, we're looking at some of the photos here. I recognize so many of these local artists that you bring on.
Finest Kind, and Arthur McGregor over there.
I saw Tyler Keeley, I think there. Chris White, too, I believe I saw there,
so there's a collage, which I actually turned into a Christmas card.
So and that's another part of what you're doing, right? You're selling Christmas cards there as well?
Cards. I'm trying to find a way to get as much money as I can for the food bank.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
So I thought this year, why not do some Christmas cards?
So are these originals to you? Or do you create these? These are beautiful.
These.
They're amazing.
Well, so let me explain though. The design of the goose, it has a little bit of a history itself.
Okay.
The goose was originally drawn and designed by Chris McLean, who
Okay, I know Chris
you know
McLean,
Chris.
yeah.
So besides being a wonderful musician, she's also a graphic artist. Now, after we did the first CD, she wasn't available to do the drawing for the next one, but
Okay.
my sister is also a musician and a graphic artist. So she drew the second goose,
Okay.
and that's the one that we end up having on
It's
on all this
adorable. I love
stuff.
it. And I noticed you brought some CDs as well. So I
I
guess
did.
you're also selling CDs,
We're
right?
also selling CDs.
At the concert?
Yeah, so we have in total 3 CDs.
Okay.
The original one I'm sold out of hard copy, but
That's
I
a
can
good sign.
get digital copies to anybody if they're looking for that. But this is the second CD we decided was the Christmas platter. So the first one was called the Christmas Goose. The second one was called the platter, and then the third one, well, that's dessert. So Christmas
Nice.
pudding. I have to think of something for the fourth one.
I love it. You're going to have a silent auction.
We're
going to
have
right?
a silent auction just
Okay.
to try and up the amount of money that we're going to have. So I had the collage printed on metal. I don't know
Oh,
if you've ever
really?
seen any of those.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
They're really cool. So it's printed on metal, and it's about I think 16 by 20 or something like
Okay.
that. And so that will be one of the things on the silent auction. Then the other is I also did a few that were just printed on regular photo paper.
Okay, excellent.
But large.
What a
like,
great
you know.
collage. I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
fun,
love that you
eh?
added that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's really
absolutely.
fun.
I know you can't do this without help, right? I mean, you have a wonderful team, some great sponsors on board as well.
Yes, I'm so grateful this year in particular to having sponsors because in the past we didn't have sponsors, and so we had a lot more hands-on work.
Right.
But it's been really tough for people over the pandemic.
It
So
has.
even the musicians have not been making money,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
It's been tough. And so I thought every year the musicians have offered their time and have not been paid for this. It's always a gift.
It's amazing.
Right? And I mean, I really look at this as a community. Like,
Yeah,
there's so many
yeah.
community aspects to this. It's for the broader community. It's for the musician
Well, I'm going to tell everybody at home when it's happening.
Yeah.
Again, it's December 6th, 7:30 p.m. at the NAC4 stage. We'll be right back after this.